Hey guys, this is Victoria back with another Warlords of Draenor preview for you. Okay, and we are going to talk about the Iron Maidens in LFR. Now, of course, each boss is going to have special abilities. The first one we're going to talk about is Garan's Iron Shot. This is not really much of a concern. There's nothing you can do to avoid it. It's just kind of like her melee ability. She's going to target a player and do, I think it was around 20k damage to that player in LFR. Again, you can't avoid it. You can't do anything about it, just so you know what it is. Her second ability is Rapid Fire, and this one you do need to avoid. You're going to get a little arrow over your head, and you need to run and kite this around the edge of the room. Otherwise, it will do a huge amount of AoE damage to anyone that it hits. So you just want to make sure it's away from everybody at the edges of the room as you're kiting that around. It doesn't last very long, so it shouldn't be too difficult to just keep it away from you and everyone else. So Sorka has a Blade Dash, and supposedly she dashes to a target and deals some damage to them and anyone within 3 yards of them. She didn't actually move in LFR. I don't know if that's a beta thing or what. But yeah, so just stay 3 yards apart. You should be fine on this one. It shouldn't be a lethal move, at least not on LFR version. I have not seen the Mythic or anything like that versions. Now the next one is Blood Ritual. And that's by Merak, and this one is going to put a little squiggly line on a player and deal some damage to them, and then it causes crystallized blood, and crystallized blood is a little AoE cone. Whoever is closest to her is going to get hit by that, and it really should be the tank because it'll be a lot of damage going out in that crystallized blood cone, so it should be the tank that's going to be taking that one in the face. And then after that, you have phases where one of the bosses is going to go over to the ship. Now, our first one was Merak. I believe it's going to be random. Merak will go over and start firing the ship's cannon at your friends that are back on the dock. 6 of you will go over and fight a little mini boss over here. Now, this guy just drops some puddles that you need to avoid on the ground. Basic stay out of shit on the ground mechanic. Kill him. Then you go and click on the little cannonballs in the cannon to disable the cannon, and then you're brought back over to the docks with everyone else to resume the fight. You do need to be kind of quick on this because the boss is loading up the cannon and she will just wipe everyone if you're not. Okay, so then the Iron Maidens will start gaining what's called Iron Fury, and at a 30 stack, they will get new abilities. Garen will get Penetrating Shot, where she's going to line up a player. This is exactly like aim in Paragons. Stand in the beam, mitigate the damage amongst everyone. Really simple mechanic, everyone knows from Paragons. Next we have Sorka, and she is going to be doing Convulsive Shadows, which is, don't dispel it, basically. Merak, Bloodsoaked Heartseeker, she's going to throw her axe at a player and do some damage to them. I don't think it's avoidable if I remember correctly, but I could be wrong. The Dreadnought, again, we got the Dreadnought. This time Garen went over, so there's no tank because no one's tanking Garen. So the tanks are still on the other 2 bosses. So you might want to send an extra healer just to make sure your DPS are fine as they go over there without a tank. One of these guys is an Ellie Shaman sort of guy, and he does put an Earth Shield on the other one, so not the one that we're killing now, the other guy. So you actually might want to kill the other guy first. I looked it up afterwards and learned that, so I was a little behind, but anyways, you're just going to kill them both. Obviously, we didn't have much trouble killing him anyway. And then, again, you're going to disable the cannon before she's able to get it to load and fire on the docks and wipe everybody. And everyone on the docks is avoiding bombs that she's throwing right now anyway. So you do want to hurry just to make sure that your raid doesn't end up taking a whole lot of damage while you're doing that. And then before we got our next Iron Fury stacks, we got our last Dreadnought, and that was, of course, Sorka. She's the last one left. And this is just 3 guys. This guy does call for reinforcements periodically, so you do kind of want to DPS him down as quickly as you can so you don't get like overwhelmed with ads or anything. And again, you're going to run back, click on the cannon to disable it, and go back to the docks. And again, you do want to be pretty efficient with this because everybody on the docks is taking damage from the cannons, and if she gets the cannons loaded, it's basically a wipe. You're not going to survive that. So, see all this stuff on the ground that they were avoiding while we were over there. So, that's why you want to be fast with that. So then after that, of course, the bosses are going to start getting Iron Fury again. Eventually, they're going to reach 100 Iron Fury, and at that point, they're going to gain some more abilities again. So they're each going to get their third set of abilities. The first one, of course, Garan again, is called Deploy Turret. Sorry, brain fart. Deploy Turret. Sorka has Dark Hunt. Merrick has Sanguine Strikes. So they're going to all gain those abilities. We actually had the fun effect of them all happening at the same time, so that was good. But, you know. And so anyways, these bosses are going to, the Deploy Turret is really a spinny fire turret that you just need to DPS down. It needs to be ranged that's taking it down, because if you get too close to it, you just can't avoid the little fire things that's spitting out. I know that because I took one to the face and died. So it definitely needs to be ranged, taking that out. The Dark Hunt that Sorka does, she'll target a player and leap to their location and deal, like, I think it's 180k damage. So any active mitigations, I never got targeted with this, so I don't know if you can, like, feign death or anything like that to get out of it, so I'm not exactly sure on that one. Sanguine Strikes is a massive amount of AoE damage that's going out to the entire raid based on the amount of damage that the tank is taking. So if the tank can mitigate that in any way in order to reduce the amount of AoE, obviously that's going to be really important. And then the bosses are just going to keep repeating all of these abilities over and over again. You're just going to keep avoiding everything, like good raiders, staying out of all the stuff on the ground that's not the ground. And eventually, you will be able to get the bosses down. It took us a very, very long time because our DPS was pretty low. Again, this is, you know, it's LFR on beta, so DPS is not the best. You know, no one's really got gear or enchants or anything like that, but we managed to get them down without really any trouble. We did pretty well as a solid group. So eventually, yeah, as long as you're staying out of stuff, you should be fine and should be able to get these bosses down without too much trouble, at least on LFR. Obviously, I have not tried the other versions yet. Now, they do hit sort of a soft enrage when they each get to a critical health point, and they'll do 10% extra damage for 20 seconds. So our strategy was to get them all, kind of AoE them all down together, kind of like Fallen Protectors. I don't know if that's necessarily the best strategy, but that's what we did. So there you go. And make sure in LFR and Flex, you actually run up and loot the boss. It's not just going to magically appear in your bags anymore. If you get loot, you need to loot the boss to get it. Even if it's like a tier piece or anything like that, you will have to actually loot the boss. So that's it for now. I hope you guys join me back here for more at another time. Thanks and have a good night.